Welcome back to another episode of Cousin Lisa's Cannabis Corner. I almost called it Harper's Corner and got in trouble there for a second, so I had to start the video all over again. Now, this ain't gonna be a reel, so I ain't trying to say shit really fast. I'm just gonna talk about a few things. Again, we are talking about cannabis consumption now that it is becoming legal in so many parts of the world, and it is most definitely legal here in Arizona. In fact, it has been legal for me because I paid the money to make it legal. You know how some people with money can get more legal rights than other people. Anyway, that's always true about cannabis. Cannabis is kind of like a rich man's drug. And yet, I don't think of myself as a rich man, although I do realize I have privilege. I'm not denying that I have privilege. But I hate spending money when I don't have to spend that money. Like if I can get it for cheaper or I can make it more economical, then I like to do that. Because I don't hold on to money well, but I like to spend it on things that are worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? I do hold on to money. Yeah, we ain't talking about money here, okay? Well, yeah, we are. Because I have been to the dispensary lately ever since it became legal. And between you and me, the prices have gone up. And it ain't necessary. I suppose they're trying to control for consumption or whatnot, or make as much money as they possibly can off of this flowering plant. So much so that I'm thinking I'm going to start growing my own here, but I got to pay for the seeds and then I got to, invest in taking care of the plant and all that. Yeah, so I got all that going on, but I have for the longest time thought that weed was a little bit overpriced. So much so that I will drive in order to buy larger quantities at smaller prices, and that makes it last longer, more bang for your buck, so to speak. But there's another way to get bang for your buck, and that is to take your weed. When you get your weed, now I'm going to open uh, an envelope here. Yeah, this particular envelope is of Blue Dream, and I'm not recommending Blue Dream if you have any tendency toward anxiety. But this is a Blue Dream bud. You see that? See that? Real pretty like that. Well, whatever. You don't care. Like they tell you all this shit about look at the crystals and whatnot. What you got to do is smell it, and if it smells good to you, then your body's asking for it. And if it don't smell good, then smell for something else. Every every weed has a distinct smell. Now, you might not be into smoking weed, and I completely understand that. That first smoke and that cough is something terrible, but the feelings are pretty fast after that. So, like if you smoke or if you inhale the weed, then it reaches your brain a little bit faster. But then it also comes really fast and then goes away, and then you got like a mild taper off later on. If you're looking for more like stable effects that just kind of keep going, you might really want to look into the edible side of things. And to tell the truth, if you make your own edibles are much more cheaper than you're smoking. But if you're gonna buy them edibles at the store, my God, they're charging like $5 a piece of candy. And you have a piece of candy, and after you've had a piece of candy 2 hours later, you might want another piece of candy without thinking about it. Oh my. That is a very expensive afternoon. That's all I'm saying. I'm not in for paying a shitload of money. I'll just be honest about that. Well, what you can do if you do get one of them green buds that you smoke and you really, really like it, and you're like, wow, I would like to have this effect on a stable basis, but I don't want to smoke all the time, or I don't want to spend so much money all the time, then you can take the flower itself, right, and buy yourself like an eighth of weed. Make sure it's kind of weed that you appreciate, and then you take that and you have to decarboxylize it. Here, let me put a ding up so I know I want to put decarboxylize right there. That's a fancy ass word. Decarboxylize means that you are taking the carboxylizing out of the weed. I don't know exactly what carboxylization means, but I do know that when you do the decarboxylization, which is subjecting the weed to a different heat for a period of time, it changes the chemical structure of the weed and it makes it more bio available, right? Like digestible, like it'll get, like you can eat it. Like if you just ate that bud I was showing you, nothing had happened because it ain't been decarboxylized. It isn't in the form that your body can appreciate. You know what I'm saying? It probably give you some runs. Right. So anyway, so decarboxylization, and it's spelled again, it's spelled for you, right? Look that up on the internet because it takes a little time, but the basics of it are you have a particular temperature. I think it's 225. I don't quote me on that. I'm not going to write it up for you. And you wrap your weed inside a piece of tin foil and you put it inside the oven for that period of time that they talk about in the decarboxylizing article. And then you take it out and you add that to some oil, right? And I think coconut oil is the best kind of oil that you can use. Some people are using canola oil. I don't believe in canola oil because it is um yeah, it's rapeseed oil, I think, and it's also genetically modified. And when I was using that, I felt like my hair was falling out. So I laid off of that and went back. But see, now if you do the oil and then you go cooking with it, anything you cook is going to have the calories from whatever else you add into that oil. The oil is pretty much the quickest way to get your edible. So what I have done is I have purchased little capsules and you in an eyedropper, and you take the eyedropper and you drip the oil in the capsules, and then you can make like a cup of oil, 2 cups of oil, depending on how much you like your weed or how much of a tolerance you have to the weed. So you use a cup of oil, 2 cups of oil. The more oil you use, the weaker the oil's gonna be, right? So then what you can do is you take and you can order these little capsules and you can like eyedropper it into the capsules. And what that does is it makes every one of them oil drop capsules the exact same effect, which is nice because sometimes with them edibles that you're buying from the store, every single edible, sometimes every single batch has a different effect. So you can only count on what's going on in the package, and you might want a little bit more consistency or stability for that. So if you're looking to use the weed in a way that enhances your experience of living without depleting your experience of having money, then you might want to look into that whole decarboxylization, because when you eat the weed, it has a greater effect and it lasts longer. And overall, you get more out of decarboxylized weed that you're eating than you do from the stuff that you're smoking, because so much that you smoke comes back out right after you light it up. But if you're eating it, it goes into the oil, and then it's in the oil and it goes into your body. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this has been your second episode of Cannabis Corner with me, Cousin Lisa. I am so happy to see you today, and I hope you have a fabulous day.